Good morning. Now it's 8:15 in the morning on Friday, January 25th, 2019. And we're still doing mindfulness. Now we're going to do exercises 2 and 3, silent walking and cubbyholing. I go over the whole disclosure thing on the January 22nd videos, 1 through 3, I think. Pretty much the beginning of those videos I cover over and over again the importance of getting private counseling and how to do that and what if you can't and etc. And the fact that I'm not a DBT counselor, mindfulness counselor, I'm a consumer, a long-time consumer, sometimes even an unwilling consumer that's making the best of consuming what I'm supposed to be consuming. So here we are, doing that again. Alright. But definitely I recommend get a real therapist, real mindfulness, DBT classes. I'm just putting the material out there because I believe in it and I have permission. And yeah, and because I have permission. Okay. Wait, I got it. Nobody wants to do a video and feel like they have a booger in their nose. Alright, silent walking. Many cultures have developed different forms of walking meditations. See, I told you there's walking meditations. This exercise, see, I told you in a different video, there's walking meditations. Let's try this again. Exercise 2. Silent walking. Silent. Many cultures have developed different forms of walking meditations. This exercise is a variant on some of them. Take 10 minutes or longer and walk silently. You might walk around in a circle in your yard. You might walk around the house. Or you might take a walk around the neighborhood. Try to remain silent throughout the course of the entire walk so that you can listen to the content your mind is producing. As your attention is drawn on particular objects in your environment, thoughts in your mind, or feelings in your body, call these out by saying them 3 times. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I was like, this is boring, but then that sounds interesting. The purpose of the brief word repetition is to support you in diffusing your thoughts about the events. For example, if you are walking around the neighborhood and you see a car go by, say aloud, car, car, car. Yeah, that sounds less boring. If you start to feel stressed out during the walk, you might say stress, stress, stress. Notice what happens as you do this. Notice each time your attention is repeatedly drawn to something. For example, if you notice that you keep coming back to certain thoughts or feelings during your walk, you might want to gently file this information away, apparently silently. You might want to focus on these matters with other skills that were presented in previous chapter. In this or previous chapters. Yep, you might want to focus on some other skills like being mindful, like, is blurting out 3 times. I can So I can see why, but that's not silent for one thing. It's not silent. Are you supposed to say this silently? Call these out by saying them. It says say them. The purpose of the brief word repetition I mean, I can see that there would be a neurological reason for this, because in yoga there's a neurological reason for doing the breathing and stretching exercises 3 times, because it sets your muscles and your muscle memory. So it probably is something about doing this that will set your neurological memory too, or reprogram your neurological memory or something. Because the brain and the neurons and everything has like a lot of plasticity. But I just was getting a visualization, because sometimes I do, of if I practiced this and then I got caught up in the practice. You were just so I would say use mindfulness and decide, is this a habit I want to start? Just blurting out repetitions of 3. I mean, what if you're an OCD person? That'd be horrible. Yeah, so, and I'm sure, please, no such agency, filter this, or I don't know. I'm sure the mean people will take it and start doing something excessively mean about it. But maybe the good people will start doing something positive about it. I have no ability to push anything. I just find it funny. I might try it though. Just for fun. Because it doesn't sound boring, does it? No, it sounds fun. Okay, exercise 3, cubbyholing. I can't wait. This is not mindful. Nope, I'm not really. But my dog's named Mindful, but it could be mindful of his own thoughts, or it could be mindful behavior. It just depends on the day, the moment. Alright, I can't see now because In this next exercise, you will be asked to note the category of your psychological content as it comes up. This exercise can be done on its own. It can be done in conjunction with just about any other exercise in this book, or it can be done as you carry on with your normal day. As thoughts, feelings, or bodily sensations arise, mindfully note into which category they fall. So is it a thought, is it a feeling, or is it a bodily sensation? Ooh, that will help with the sorting train if you wanted to do that. All right. Do this out loud if you're in a place where you can do that. Do not call out the specific thought or emotion. The point is to focus only on the category to which the content belongs. Ooh, that makes it not boring too. Fun self-head games. That's what we like. So the idea is, as thoughts and feelings and stuff come up, we put them in their bucket, but we don't think about what the actual thought is. Just what kind of thought it is. Ooh, far out. Here is a list of the different categories from which to choose. Undoubtedly, there are many more categories, but for the purposes of this exercise, stick to the ones listed below. So, our buckets are emotion, thought, bodily sensation, just say sensation, evaluation, and urge to do something, just say urge, and memory. When you do this exercise, lead in your labeling of the content with the word theirs. For example, if you start to feel your heart beating really fast, say there's sensation. If you respond to your fast beating heartbeat with fear that you're going to have a panic attack, you could say there's emotion. If your fear is so great you feel compelled to call a doctor, you could say there's an urge. You can do this exercise while sitting, but you can also do it on long drives, while lying in bed at night, on walks, and so forth. Once you start it, try to stay with it for at least several minutes. More if you are able. If you catch yourself in long periods of silence, see if you haven't been hooked by a thought or a feeling you've been following. Then come back to the exercise. I'm not sure what that part means. Labeling psychological content by type will help you learn. Okay, let's just calm down there. Labeling psychological content by type will help you to learn to deal with content in a diffused way. It's that step back thing. For example, if you have a thought about what you need to do later on, staying with the label, there's a thought, supports you in staying present with what is actually happening. The thought may be about the future, but that is pure content. In fact, the thought is occurring now, and noticing that is a powerful habit of mind. Cultivating this habit can be helpful when even more difficult content appears, like a thought that you may have a panic attack later. Oh, I see. So labeling the psychological content by type, so it helps you step back from it. So if you're stuck someplace, well, if you are someplace in the present moment, and you're doing stuff in the present moment, and then you have a thought about something that you need to do later, like, oh my gosh, I've got a huge dinner thing that I've got to do later on. I've got like all these things that I got to put together. But in the moment, you're doing your aerobic workout, and then you just like be like, oh, there's a thought, and you just carry on with your aerobic workout, and then take care of thinking about all the stuff that you have to do with your dinner later on, and that helps you stay with your workout. I'm just using examples. With your workout, rather than get caught up in some sort of like panic thought loop that might escalate, in fact, into a panic attack. Huh. Far out stuff. Not boring. Next, we're going to do eating raisins. Raisins are funny little fruits.